Hello everyone, welcome to Eternal Brews. My name is Pojo, and today we're going to be looking at one of our first and silliest brews of Defiance, ContrabanDwagon. So this is a Dragon Contraband deck using Crown of Possibilities and Nyctotraxion, Twinning Ritual and Second Sight. The standard Nyctotraxion Crown list where we are just trying to draw a lot of random cards and have a lot of fun, except that we've increased the randomness a little bit more, like an additional 20 cards more with the addition of Aurelian, Ixtun, Geneve, Kerendon, and Winchest, Cargo, and Contraband. So, as you may know, Contraband and Cargo are cards where if you get the influence, they transmute into Contraband cards that allow you to choose between a random Fire, Justice, and Shadow card, essentially the Discover mechanic from Hearthstone, or rather, you basically just get a pick of 3 random cards, and you get to make some decisions as to what card is going to be the best. Obviously, randomness influences what your decisions are going to be, but good decision making will definitely get you far here, and figuring out what cards are the best in particular situations is really a lot of the fun of the deck. This is a really fun mechanic. We love playing with it, so the first thing that I thought of when we started playing Defiance was that we had to build a deck that just had all of the cargo in it and did something really, really ridiculous. I've always liked these really ridiculous 5-color decks in 3-color sets. They're not super easy to run, and this is not by any means a competitive brew, but it is a ridiculous amount of fun to play. So here's the basics. We run Trailmaker to fix for influence, and we run a decent amount of crests in Wisdom, Cunning, Progress, and Impulse, the colors of Time and Primal, along with the fixing for Shadow, Justice, and Fire, but central to Time and Primal. Once we have 5 of each, we typically play an Aurelian Merchant or a Great Valley Smuggler, and we use that to grab a Memento Mori. Memento Mori, of course, gives us 1 influence of every type that will instantly activate basically all of our cargoes. Sometimes you'll have one that might be a little bit of a straggler, and then you can use that to play your cargo and also have enough power to play whatever the card that comes out of the cargo is. In addition, we're constantly twinning and second sighting Nyctotraxion, giving cards random skills with Crown of Possibilities. Basically, it leads to a very unique experience where everything is different all the time. You're never playing with the same cards. You're always playing with like a weird association of interesting things with interesting skills. It's basically a true RNG engine, and it's really, really fun to play. A lot of interesting onboard decisions that have to be made and in-hand decisions that have to be made. This is a fun deck for fun choices, and it's not a crazy competitive list, but it's definitely got a couple of other things going on. So we use 4 Hailstorms just to keep ourselves a little bit safe against Skycrag. We're still going to get run over by most aggro decks, but this helps out a little bit and can get us into a situation where a random card may turn the tide if we get the particular setup that we want. We also have a Lumen Defender in the market and a Sandstorm Scarf to prevent large flyers from flying over our heads, since most random cards do not have flying, and that typically becomes an issue when you're playing a lot of card advantage, is that some small evasive units can typically get over you, or even some large ones like the 5/5 Aegis Owl Shelterwing Rider. So Passage of Eons allows us to destroy other attachments. This is really good for matching up against the large control lists, particularly anything with Cauldron Cookbook. We want to be able to destroy those cookbooks so that our opponent isn't drawing a lot of non-random cards while we're drawing a lot of random cards. So we're fixing for those 3 problems as well as aggro, and then we have Memento Mori to get us our power, and End of Days to pull power out of our deck to make it more likely for us to draw into our Contraband. This card is not usually the most likely card to pull out of the market, but it's pretty fun to do, and we've had some good results with it. So we're going to show off some games. This is going to be Randemonium. I'm sure we'll have plenty of highlights from this deck in the future, so we're just going to show off like 1 or 2 because these tend to run pretty long. They're fun control lists. There is a lot of interesting stuff in them. So here we go. Hope you guys enjoy, and we will see you very soon. So cheers. Let's go. Alright, here we are up against Coalescage A. I have an Aurelian Merchant and a Great Valley Smuggler, which allows me to fetch at least Memento Mori, which would enable the Ixtun Cargo, assuming we get Fire, Justice, and Primal. I do have all of those colors. In fact, we have all of the colors, so I think we're probably going to go with this and just try to see what the cargo grants us. Yeah, it looks like a decent start here. Just Crest of Cunning into Crest of Impulse, play the Justice Sigil, and then basically see where things lead. We've got an Aurelian Cargo. I want all the cargo that I can get, since we really want to get Great Valley Smuggler up and running. Crest of Cunning here is going to go ahead and look at the top card, see what we can get. And yeah, if my opponent's playing slower decks, that's generally in our favor, since we have a lot of card advantage in the form of cards like Nyctotraxion. Okay, so Justice here fulfills all of my power requirements. I can play Great Valley, and then I can immediately play Memento. I think since my opponent's not doing anything super aggressive, we're just going to go ahead and lead with Aurelian Merchant into Memento, since that's going to give us a little bit more to play with. The Bar of the Gates is pretty useful, actually. I really want to keep it, but I think the Memento is going to be a little bit better for us, just since we can play it into a Shadow Sigil and get ourselves some cool cargo. Alright, there goes the Merchant. I've still got Great Valley Smuggler, so we can trade any bad cards out for useful things like Lumen Defender or Passage of Eons, depending on what they're going for. I'm going to go ahead and play Memento here. And since we need an undepleted power this turn, we're going to go ahead and play the Shadow. Well, actually, if I play 7, I can play Nikto. That seems unnecessary, though. Let's go ahead and go with Aurelian Contraband or Ixtun Contraband. Aurelian's my favorite faction, so we'll go ahead and give her a spin. Horizon Seeker, Nash Pridemaster. That's probably the most powerful card here, and Toctic, which is a really good stall card. I don't have a Dinosaur or anything close to. Nightfall would be nice, but I think Nash is going to be a little bit more useful for me. Okay, so next turn is Nash and then an Ixtun Contraband, or rather an Ixtun Contraband and then a Nash. Great Valley Smuggler can fetch a Passage of Eons, which will help with this whole sort of problem we have with Crown of Possibilities right now. I don't think I want to do that just yet. Let's go ahead and do the Ixtun Contraband first. Speardiver, Fencing Master, and Surveiller. Okay, so Speardiver's a decent 6-drop. Surveiller's an okay 4. I can't really pledge either of these. I would say that Speardiver seems like a pretty reasonable pickup. And then we'll just grab the Crest of Cunning here. Genev Contraband is the type of card I want on top. We want to be shuffling basically as many power as we can to the bottom, and beyond that we're just going to be playing cards like Nash. Now, I can't actually use Speardiver to enable Nash's ability by second sighting it. I should definitely attack before I use second sight, or else I'm going to discard Nyctotraxion to Nash, which would not be ideal. Beyond that, like, I think we'll be okay. Looks like my opponent's going for a Messenger Hawk here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not sure what he's cycling, but odds are pretty good that they're Clockroaches, so we'll see what happens. Vanish there doesn't really harm our chances too much. It just removes some of our bigger threats. I'm guessing he might have maybe a Lightning Strike here. If we enabled Nash, we'd get 4 damage in, but I think I'm probably happy to just go ahead and attack in. Oh, discarded Aurelian Merchant, so we do get the invulnerability, right? Your other units are invulnerable, never mind. Gotta read those cards when they're random cards. Alright, we'll play the second side here. Great Valley Smuggler and an Aurelian Contraband. We'll put the Nyctotraxion on top, of course. And now we get to take another spin or two at the wheel. Let's go with Genev Contraband, since that's got Attachment Destruction in it. Long Barrel's pretty good. Twilight Hunt's not bad, and Primal Incarnation's pretty good. I'd say Long Barrel has the most interesting connotations. Let's go ahead and grab that. Speardiver, I could probably just stand to trade for a passage at this point, and that'll give me a Great Valley Smuggler on board, so we'll go ahead and run that out. And then we'll grab a Passage of Eons. An End of Days would also allow us to play some like interesting market stuff. I could just draw a sigil of each faction, play all of those sigils, and then I wouldn't have to deal with a lot of this other stuff. Since we're not currently in a hurry, I think that might actually be a good idea. That actually allows me to get some power to play into Great Valley Smuggler. And if I lose a unit to like a Lightning Strike or something, I can play a ton of power from my deck, which also is a pretty good way to sort of get ourselves, yeah, quite far ahead. So, okay, losing Memento Mori hurts here, but not a lot. I think we're mostly fine. Insatiable Ceratosaur is great. Like, I feel really good about that. So let's go ahead and attack for 7. I can't play End of Days, sadly. Lost the Twinning Ritual. That's a problem, but not a huge one. Okay, and let's just play Insatiable Ceratosaur down, and then we'll play an Aurelian Contraband and see if we can find something cool. Devoted Theurge. Torgoth Icecap Trader is pretty great. That's card's almost guaranteed to be... Let me check my Void real quick. I've got 9 cards in the Void right now, so Torgoth's going to be huge. Dangerous Bargain allows me to steal something very bad from him, but I am a little bit short on power at the moment, so we'll probably go with Torgoth here. Yeah, he's already a 7/8. I do have 10 or more cards in Void because of Aurelian Contraband, so not bad at all. Alright. So Kowaleski's trying to keep his crown running. Looks like he hasn't found the cards that he needs to really make this work yet. We're gonna play our crest. I love Hailstorm. It's not great here, but it certainly is a useful card. Can clear a lot of enemies, but maybe we want to just go ahead and ditch that. I think we're probably going to go ahead and put that on the bottom for now. Unless I really think that there's going to be some scary stuff. No, that feels fine. Okay, let's go ahead and long barrel the Insatiable Ceratosaur. I'm going to piercing shot this... Man, I really want to piercing shot Aurelian Merchant because it's a little bit more damage, but probably the Messenger Hawk is best. Wow, my opponent's just flush with banishes. That's the third banish in a row. Okay, so Great Valley Smuggler can't do anything this turn. We'll just go ahead and hold off and see what we can do. Torgoff plays, so does End of Days. Let's attack and see if End of Days is going to play. Oh, goodness. Alright, well that was a very lucky Dizo there. Goodness gracious. The cards off the top for him are going to be mostly cargo, so like we're okay with him just taking 3 cards off the top. He might get my Nikto, and that's a little bit of a rough sell. Okay. Leading a refresh on Dizo, that makes perfect sense. Let's go ahead and attack the Praxis Arcanum so we can enable End of Days, and then we can just get to work on the Contraband and everything else. Okay, End of Days. And we're just going to play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm up to 11. I get to play Torgoff and Contraband. I get to Great Valley Smuggle if I need to, which may be useful. I need something with charge or some way to actually kill this Talir. Viper's Bite on Dizo is certainly rough. Not a lot we can do about that. That card is actually looking very, very scary at the moment. And yeah, let's see what we can get. A killer Aurelian Merchant ready to rock and roll. Alright. So the Praxis Arcanum is good to go. What have we got running? Sandstorm Titan. Okay, so let's throw a Correndon Contraband. Shakedown would allow us to at least damage the Aegis, so we could do something like Passage of Eons. Windchest Contraband. End of the story. That's pretty good. Yeah, I think I really like that one. Street Leecher feels pretty solid as well, but End of the Story kills everything, so let's lead with that. And then we can play Great Valley Smuggler. I could trade Nikto for the moment. I do have Shakedown and Passage, and that should be pretty okay. Yeah, let's go with that. So Talir's active next turn, so if he has any sort of unit, we're probably in trouble. He's giving a unit charge. We'll see if that actually triggers. You can have the top 3 cards in my deck, because, I mean, odds are pretty good that they're all Contraband or Power. He didn't get a Nikto, that's good. He did get one of my crowns, that's a little bit rough. That's okay though, because we have Passage. Okay, now that's a problem. Trailmaker actually gives us some problems. Oh! My Contraband are already active! Uh-oh. I didn't think about how that interaction would work, so I guess he just gets a random card. I should have just let him take the health from me. Okay, Aurelian Merchant here can fetch... some options, but nothing I can super use. We're gonna go ahead and go for Shakedown. Might as well attack the Praxis Arcanum. I'm sure that'll lead to a Trailmaker block. And we'll go ahead and Passage of Aeons here. And Torgoff Icecap Trader. So my opponent gets a Talir, a pretty scary 7/7. I've got a Torgoff, which is a whole other thing. And Vara Vengeance Seeker. That's a rough one. I think we'll probably go ahead and just sacrifice there. Bond Horse Snatcher Bat. Okay, I guess they both got skills. Delightful. Okay, so we've got a couple of options here. I think the most interesting one is probably to go ahead and Great Valley Smuggler again. Get ourselves Nikto back. Found an Islands Intervention. That's super useful for us. Twinning Ritual Nikto. Got ourselves a Copperhall Marshal. That's not bad. And then attacking for 7 here gets us a pretty good attack. Obviously, we're going to go for the player since the site is completely expended. Doesn't have any use to attack it. He's going to double block there, and then we use Islands Intervention to trade away one of the Horse Snatcher Bats. Which then gets us a Copperhall Marshal. Okay, so now if we can find some weapons, that's going to be helpful. Nyctotraxian's going to be pretty good here. My opponent's using Second Sight, going to get themselves into crowns. This is a knockdown drag-out brawl. This is really fun. I definitely should have let him steal some of my life as opposed to some of my cards, but we'll figure it out in a sec.
Now it's my turn.
Okay, so here we're going to go ahead and eat the 3/3. Not much else we can do about it. And my opponent's up to a Shadow Sigil. Okay, we've got the crown. That's really useful. I'm going to go ahead and play the 8/8 Nikto down. And the attack here doesn't look very good, so I'm going to be stuck sitting, which I do not love against Talir. I think we'll just have to do it, though. There's not really any other way that we can run this. Okay, I've got a second Nikto, but what I really want is to get my crowns running. Unraveler of Destinies eats some cards to get some other stuff, yeah. 2 more cards for him, and he gets to kill my Nikto, which I'm not super happy about. Picked up a crown of his own. It's a pretty good deal. Better than I expected, actually. Second Sight here allows us to give Nikto some abilities. And we got a deadly Trailmaker, don't hate that. I'm pretty happy to attack with at least my 7/8, and then leave Nikto as a simple example. Reckless and Lumen Defender. Lumen Defender's pretty solid. It does kill Talir if Talir goes haywire. I would kind of like to sort my deck, but I think we'll go ahead and play the Lumen Defender here. And this has Killer, so I can kill Talir, never mind. Okay, so Deadly Killer, that's a pretty strong combo. Now we have the board. We're actually in control. Although second crown, this is going to get really dangerous. This is a good game. Okay. Go ahead and... Yep, we lose the Torgoth. I get to keep Nikto, which is great. At this point, we're far enough ahead that I can attack for 8 every turn. We'll just go straight for his face. And second Nikto is pretty likely to push for lethals, so I should probably play it and try to seal the deal here. Let's go ahead and play it down. And there we go. He got an Echo card. That's really not good for me. It could be Crown Roaches. Went for... Oh, he got an Echo Temple Scribe. That's horrible. Alright, so that's 2 chump blockers for him and 2 new cards. Channel's not going to do a lot of damage, but it is going to get him a lot of cards. At the very least now, like, we're doing okay. I do get a Contraband, thank goodness. Let's go ahead and see what we can find. Flame Blast, come on. Fire Grenadin, that's not bad. That kills the Temple Scribe, which allows me to push for more damage. Hellshrieker deals more damage, Primeval Plover deals more damage, Tripwire Grenadin's definitely the best card here. Okay, so kill the 1/1. I think that's lethal, actually. Yeah, Tripwire Grenadin for lethal, just because we're attacking face. Awesome. We got it with the random card at the end. Clutch, clutch, clutch. Really delightful. Alright, here we are up against Baron Hill. Opener looks pretty strong. We got the Aurelian Merchant to fetch some stuff, and we have Aurelian Cargo. I can't quite activate everything I want off a Cargo. So just getting Memento might not be enough. Let's redraw and see if we can find a Nikto or a little bit better Influence. Okay, this looks much better, yeah. So we got the Nyctotraxian. That's going to give us an early random card, something to play with. Looks like a Seed of Impulse. All right, I'll definitely take the extra influence. So we get to play Crest, Seat, and that's Primal, Shadow, Time, and Fire. Oh, and if I play Crest of Progress into Crest of Cunning, that's all of my influence. Which seems like a pretty good start. Hailstorm, yeah, definitely want that. We'll go ahead and play a Crest of Cunning next, and then we'll, you know, if we run into something bad, then we can Hailstorm it. Otherwise, like, at least we can use it to pop Aegises on this, ostensibly Hoodoo deck. Crest of Cunning here. Corendon Cargo. I'm pretty close to having active Cargo right now. I think with Ixtun, we could actually get pretty close. I'm definitely down with having some cargo in hand. Okay, so next is Crown. Basically, the cards we most often want to sort to the bottom are any sort of influence cards that don't fix for us, like any sort of Waystones or any sort of like card that doesn't actually fix our problem. So, let's see here. Lingering Influence. If we're not fixing for our cargo, then, and we're not drawing random cards with Nikto, then we're not really doing anything, so definitely best to lead with those. Okay. The Genève is blue, yellow, and red, and Ixtun is red, blue, and green. So if I play the Crest of Wisdom, I've got a red coming up, so I don't need to play the Ixtun cargo, unless I want some green as well. Corendon cargo would get us the green. Yeah, let's go ahead and... we can keep the crest, or we can avoid the crest and try to draw something else. I think the crest is correct here. Hailstorm kills the 2/2. It could get a weapon or something that would be kind of scary here, and I've got 2 Hailstorms to burn, so let's just keep things knocked down for a little bit, keep the board as stable as possible until we're ready to do our cargo. Fortunately, my most expensive card is Nyctotraxion, and I have no reason to play that card. I just need to clone it over and over again. But certainly we're going to want to get some attachment destruction later. Anyways, Crest of Impulse activates Genève. Aurelian cargo is Shadow, which we can get with Corendon, so certainly quite reasonable to go ahead and grab that if we want to. I also might be using Corendon to fix for Ixtun, though, so it's a little bit close. I might put this on the bottom. Okay, Genève Contraband here. Delir Who Sees Beyond seems pretty cool. I think Westwind Herald seems pretty cool, too. I don't have a lot of spells to play, so a 5/5 Aegis that replays Hailstorm is not very good. I think Delir makes the most sense, although... man. That does play all of my merchants on time, but I believe it also discards the Nyctotraxions. I'm still pretty down with that. Let's go ahead and grab her. She's got Echo. Nice. Okay, good to know. Okay, so Corendon cargo gets us Shadow, and Ixtun cargo gets us Justice. I need a mix of both of those. Let's go ahead and end our turn for now. I think I use Corendon cargo to grab Justice so I can play Ixtun cargo, actually. Okay, Island's Favor. My opponent's playing some Control as well. We got a Crown here. That's great. I'm going to use Corendon cargo to grab some Justice. Play the Justice. And now we have Ixtun Contraband. So we get to swap here. Big Brother's pretty great, especially with random skills, could be really fun. I like Barbarian Camp and District Infantry, but Big Brother's got the most onboard impact. Oh, and he's got Destiny, so I draw a new card. Excellent. Trailmaker for Aegis and a Shadow, which allows me to fix for the remaining influence that I'm missing, as well as potentially fix for Delir. Okay. We've lost one of our units to an Avagraft. That's not actually a big deal, because it's not like I'm going to be able to play Big Brother. I think my opponent's trying to shut down all of the cards that I'm playing, which is pretty funny, because like, there's just no way that you can actually target anything in my deck. I don't have 4-0s of anything. Oh, poor Delir turns into frogs. Alright, well, Aurelian Contraband, let's see what else we can pick up. Reminder that any units will get extra skills, so they're generally the more useful cards to pick up. Skycrag Wyvark doesn't seem right. This looks like a pretty unitless control. I got Echo again, that's wonderful. I do have Destiny on these frogs, so I could save them if I felt like it was an issue.
You will pay for your crimes.
Defiance, not going to do anything. We'll just go ahead and play down our Baying Ceratosaur here. And then we will end our turn. Opponent's probably got some harsh rules. Let's see if we get one of them here. Okay. The 2 crowns are going to win us out on value for the most part, I think. Just because we're drawing a decent amount of cargo now. We've already got everything activated. Nyctotraxion's drawing random cards too. Like, I think we're in pretty good shape as far as just random cards go. I could twin up these Ceratosaurs, since that would give me a big pile of units to play. I actually feel pretty good about that. Let's go ahead and do an Ixtun Contraband first, see what we get. Yeti Furflinger and Unseen Commando are both great. Unseen Commando seems very powerful in this particular setup. I like Reforged too. I'm not sure if there's anything that I can particularly get with that, so let's just get that. Okay, Deadly Overwhelm. Man, I really like that. This is Reckless Echo. So I'm going to twin the Ceresaur. Got Destiny, so that's 2 more cards. Which also buffs this up to like a 9/9. Pretty good with that. It'll probably get killed by Defiance, but you never know. Let's go ahead and play a full attack here. Good amount of damage. I think we're very happy with that result. And Hailstorm, probably not it. I don't want to play these because we've got a Harsh Rule incoming. Pretty sure. However, we can play Nightfall cards for the remaining next turn or two, and that's going to do a lot of damage. Ooh, premium end of the story. Good work, Baron Hill. That seems fancy. Okay, good old Shadow Sigil here. Nyctotraxion gets drawn. Draws a Northwind Herald. Northwind Herald has Charge and Warcry, so that's 4 damage there. So let's... That's actually 5 damage if we play Unseen Commando. Let's go for it.
Trust in your skill. The storm is upon you.
Or rather, it's 4 damage with the Nightfall, but 5 damage with the... so it's 4 damage either way. Either way, that was a very satisfying round, and I think that's one for the books. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. We have more brews incoming for sure, but this one seemed like a delightful amount of fun, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Certainly having something just completely random to play in Eternal is a nice change of pace. It's not a competitive deck, but I'm very glad that Chaos is not competitive. So yeah, but feel free to have fun with it. You can win some very silly games with this, and it's really just a delight to play. It takes some pretty difficult decision making. You do have to watch your influence very, very closely. Always make sure that you're basically widening out your influence to at least 2 of each, and then consider what kind of cards you might need if you need a 3rd influence. Maybe Cargo will eventually be changed to remove the influence costs, but I'm guessing that that's probably not the case. Beyond that, like, yeah, the Nyctos are delightful. Like, we've played Nyctotraxion Control decks before, we know they're delightful. Crown is still one of the funnest cards in the game, and yeah, this is just a really fun deck. So have a good time with it. I will see you all next time, and we'll be back with more Eternal Brews. Cheers.